Hello, everybody. This is Tanner. I am doing this presentation about my friend and I, and her name is Alani, and we're going to jump right into it. So, we only have a short amount of time, but the first things first, where I met Alani was through Pen Pals, and we were talking to people in Germany. So, this is in Frankfurt, Germany. Um, just a picture I found. I can't show the exact place on where we were sending them because I don't remember. I was in like sixth grade. Um, Super awesome. And I also don't have any pictures of her in specific in here because I was never able to get pictures. I didn't get a phone or anything that can take pictures until I was like 17 or junior year of high school, whatever. Um, but anyways, we'll get into it. But this is where her and I started like actually talking. She was a foreign exchange student from Africa to Germany. Oh, what happened? Here we go. Foreign exchange student from Germany. And then she was also going to go back to Africa and then transfer to the United States. I don't know how that all works because I'm not a foreign exchange student. But this is a place, it's in Oregon, that we ended up going to when she got here. And it was super exciting because she went to University of Oregon, and I can't remember what she was studying for. It's been so long, but we walked through this little bridge right here. Is quite sketchy to walk around because it's a suspension bridge. It's connected on two sides, and I don't know if you can really see it very well, but there's these wires up top that are it kind of reminds me of the suspension bridge in like San Francisco, the Golden Gate. And she kept like rocking it back and forth. It was pretty funny. Um, but it was super cool because she was talking about like the waterfall and how like it flowed, and it reminded her of the sands that she used to live at, which I thought was pretty neat. I didn't expect sand to like flow like rivers in Africa, but I guess it does. And the way that she explained it, it was like very intriguing and in depth. This is kind of what I was talking about. So, with like the flowing sands, and then it would blow like off this way and stuff. I couldn't find an exact picture to like represent it, but this is more like an Egypty sand. However, the sand that she was in, very similar to this, um, and it was kind of cool to hear her talk about it. Like I said before, like the rivers, that's it's super neat. So this picture is to depict that we are both within the Christian faith. We both believe in God and Jesus and all of that other stuff together. And we actually went to church a few times, which there is a slide in here about that as well. So we're just going to continue. She's part of a tribe. This is it's called the Yoruba, I want to say. And it's just like a more ancient tribe. And I don't remember exactly where it came from, but this is, oh, excuse me. It's a little late. I'm a little tired. But it is from Africa, but it's not something that her area really focuses on. Yes, this is like another like deity that they would worship. However, when she came to the United States, she converted to Christianity because she said it aligned better with what she was feeling. Uh, but this is the mask that they have. Let me see if it'll. This is about what she grew up with is she grew up in very small, like tribal or villages is a good term. It looked mostly like this in Africa. This is not an actual picture of where she lived. I don't know exactly where she lived, but this is about what it was like. I grew up on a ranch, kind of introduced her to that. She said it was very similar to like the way that they herd their sheep or their animals or whatever else. Um, and the cool part of it was she was talking about how many animals that she had and what the purpose of them were for. Because there would be like sheep that would provide wool for blankets. There would be sheep that would provide like meat. There would be sheep that would provide just crazy cool stuff. And that's kind of the same thing that we were doing with like herding cows. These are like horses. So we did herd horses every once in a while when they got out, but it was mostly cows. We went to school in the last year of high school. I went to a Redmond Proficiency Academy. It's basically a college prep school. It's a public charter school, so anybody can get into it. So it's not just like an academy that like the rich kids go to, or the more well off, or the smarter kids. No, it doesn't matter. They will all work at your own pace. They'll teach you certain ways to do things, more things to do, how to go about doing certain things, and so on and so forth. We got to talking every once in a while, and then she started talking to me about like her mom and her culture and her just cool things that she was talking about, and how she believes that Jesus and her people had something pretty in common, because she said that they were closer to like the land of God. Yeah, I know I'm going a little bit over, but that's okay. I have a couple more slides to get through. But it's kind of just, I'm just kind of in awe of the way that she like really explained things. I can't really put it to words. You would have to have been there in order to like really connect. But the way that she said it was super fluid. It was super just wow. And it's pretty cool the way that she would talk about like her grandparents, how they did things differently back then, how they do things now, what they do over here in the United States as compared to over there. She said she liked this place a lot more because there was more diversity and things to do, as well as there's people to talk to. The village people that she was talking to, yes, there are other people to talk to. However, you can only talk to somebody so much and learn so much about them before it just gets quote unquote boring, if that makes any sort of sense. So it was pretty good like opportunity for her to come out here and really learn different cultures, how they interact with society, how all the cultures intertwine with each other, and so on and so forth. This, I am not a Catholic, but this is to depict like church. This is a Roman Catholic church, it looks like. I can't remember exactly which one this was, but it was talking about like the way she would like portray herself in church. She would be the person that would stand there and raise her hand up and just yell as loud as she could. But it was kind of hard to understand her because, yes, she did speak a different language. English is not her first language. She was trying to learn it because she wanted to stay here. She wanted to grow and figure things out over here. This is the kind of food that she would eat every day. She would go out and pick fruits, pick vegetables, go harvest grain, some animals, but it usually was like beans, or like it's like refried beans kind of. And it was just super interesting to hear her talk about it. And she actually made this a few times for us. I can't remember what the dish was called, but it was like beans and peas and this some sort of grain, and it was all kind of like mixed together, and it was actually pretty good. I wouldn't go to it like every day for a meal, but it was pretty decent. her favorite food ever. Once she came here and was able to get like American food, like pizza for instance, she she could eat this for every meal. And it was super funny to watch because I've never seen somebody light up so much about pizza. Which yeah, pizza's pretty great. But I couldn't eat it for every meal because it would get boring. But she had never had something like this before, and all the flavors she was talking about like intertwined with each other, and it just fit. Oh, excuse me. This is where it starts to get hard for me. She ended up getting in a car accident around freshman year of college. By that point, I had joined the military, and I had already been in for about a year, year and a half. And unfortunately, she got in a car accident and she passed away. And it just put me into a tizzy because she was one of the best friends that I've ever had. And it was extremely, extremely sad hearing that somebody that I had talked to since I was like sixth or seventh grade just started building this relationship with. Not like a romantic relationship, just like a friendship thing, learning cultures, whatever. It was very sad for me to find out that from a letter that she did pass away. And it was extremely, extremely heartbreaking to the point where I actually did cry multiple times, uh, thinking about if I could have been there, would it have been different? But I have since stopped thinking about that as much because there's nothing I could have done. God calls us home every day for whatever reason He chooses. But as I was in the military before I had met my wife, I went back, and I need to go back now. And I used to drop flowers off at her gravestone. She's buried in Oregon. Her family didn't want her to come back to Africa because of the life that she had here now. And it was just super hard for them to figure out how to get her back out there because they're poor. That was the village that I showed previously was very similar to the one that she lived in. They don't have a whole lot of money. And it was like $20,000 just to get her body sent back there. And it was just unreal. But most of the stuff that I have looked up on that behalf, like African tribes and whatever else, was mostly found in Britannica. On Google, it's a history and like knowledge-based site, and this site says it's been published and updated in 2022. So that does fall within the criteria of the assignment. I cannot remember off the top of my head because I ended up deleting the what's it called? The tabs of the other stuff that I looked up. So I deeply apologize for that. But this is the real like story as to like difference in culture, how we met, where she came from, what she had when she was here, and all of this other stuff. So I really hope you enjoyed. Again, my name is Tanner Pierce. I am talking about myself and my friend Alani from Africa. And I hope this is very interesting to listen to. And I hope this was what you were looking for. Okay, well, thank you so much, and good